Hey guys, it's Christina, and in today's video we're talking about the Magic Ears review for 2020. Now before I get started, I have an announcement to make specifically with the hiring process of Magic Ears. Now Magic Ears will be speeding up the hiring process, which means that for September you can get started teaching within 2 to 4 days of your application because they have really high bookings right now. So you can start teaching anywhere between 10 classes within 2 days of your application. Now if you're interested, I did make a video about this. I would link it right here, and it goes over the whole steps of the hiring process. So it's still going to be the same steps, but they're going to basically speed up the process so that you can start teaching as soon as possible. So if you're interested, make sure you check out the link in the description box. Now let's get started. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Christina and I've been teaching English online for the past 2 years, and Magic Ear has been the companies that I've been hired by since 2018. So what I want to specifically do today is share with you the pros and cons that I've experienced specifically within those 2 years. Alright, so let's start with the pros. The first pro that I have for Magic Ears will definitely have to be the customer service. Now, Magic Ears has one of the best communication process and service that I've seen with most online ESL companies. As you guys know, I teach for 4, or I am hired by 4 online ESL companies, but Magic Ears is one of the companies that I constantly work with, and with them, I think that customer service has been top-notch. They actually use another app that's called DinTalk, so you can communicate with them via email, but you can also communicate with them with this app. And DinTalk, what I really like about it is that it allows you to communicate with not just IT, there's class cancellation, there's mentorship, there's different people that you can communicate with that allow you to really have somebody for every specific issue that you may have. Even if it is a simple question about hiring or a question about, an issue with payment. So you're able to communicate with somebody specifically when you have an issue. And I think that's really important when you think about teaching English online, because since you're teaching with Chinese students and the customer service is in China, it makes it easier for you to have somebody that's quick enough to respond to you when you have an issue. I think it's very beneficial if you look at it from somebody who's teaching with multiple companies. A lot of the times you have to communicate with them via email only. So it may take a day, it may take 3 days, and sometimes they just don't understand your issue. So I think it makes it a lot easier that you can just communicate via this app. This app can be downloaded on your phone or on your computer, so even while in class, you can communicate with them. When we're talking about customer service, I want to go into my next pro, which is the cancellation policy that they have. Now, Magic Ears has changed its cancellation policy. However, they still have one of the best ones out there. With cancellations with Magic Ears, you get up to 2 free cancellations for emergencies every month. And also it's really easy to do it. When you have a slot that's open, all you have to do is click cancel, and all it does is remove a carrot point. So with that carrot point system, it's easier than just you're removing a carrot point, because obviously you're not teaching that slot, but there's no penalty like you're going to have to pay because you have to cancel a class. And one thing also that I like about them is that when it comes to the cancellation policy, if you had to cancel a whole day, for example, if you woke up one day and you felt sick, they are totally okay with that. They do not want you to teach sick. You can just message them. You will have to cancel for the whole day. However, that cancellation will count for the whole day instead of, one slot. So I think that's really important that you can cancel for the whole day and it only counts as 1 cancellation instead of 1 slot. Now, let's go into my next pro, which is the pay. So the salary with Magic Ears is one of the highest when you look at most of the ESL companies, and they have a pretty good ranking system as well. Now, when you start with Magic Ears, the pay would be from $9, which is the base pay, and you can go up to $11 per 25-minute class. And this is the base pay. Now, you automatically get a $2 bonus depending on if you're able to, number 1, have great attendance, and number 2, open 60 peak time slots for the month. Now, one thing that's really great about them is that you don't actually have to teach those peak time slots. As long as you have open 60 peak time slots during the whole month, you will get the extra bonus. So I think it's really great because a lot of other companies kind of require you to have taught, like 150 classes a month in order for you to get bonuses, and they only require 60 peak time slots. So that's what I like about it, is that it allows you to work for multiple companies instead of just focusing on one. So I like the fact that you're able to have a little bit of freedom and you're allowed to be an independent contractor. The next pro is the reward system. Now, Magic Years is amazing when it comes to reward system because you do not have to create one. So their platform actually comes with a trophy that's already in each of the students' screen. So you do not have to actually create one or have to make some kind of game with every student when you start a class. So when a student shows up on your screen, you will see a little trophy at the bottom, and all you have to do is click it and it rewards the student. So I think it makes it a lot easier for you as a teacher to not have to worry about, you know, what game can I play with the students? Are the students going to enjoy this? They've made it very easy where you can start teaching class, and if the student did the great job, all you have to do is give them a trophy and nothing to worry about you bringing in new props. If you guys have been teaching before, you definitely know about having a reward system and how sometimes it could be challenging. So that's one thing that Magic Years definitely takes that off your worry list. Now, the next positive, I want to talk about the feedback system as well with Magic Years. Now, one thing that they do is that they do voice recording instead of having to write your feedback. And what's really cool about that is that they actually give you a template for you to follow on how to really record yourself giving feedback to a student. So usually when it comes to most companies, you would have to go under each student and kind of write your own little message and then kind of, you know, give little pointers to maybe other teachers or even say how the student did to the parent and so on. And when it comes to Magic Years, they give you a voice recording. So you're able after each class just to record a simple script that says, hey, I'm teacher, you know, Christina, and you did a great job in class, and then it tells you basically what the pointers that the student's supposed to work on and some things that you also have noticed that you want to add. But it's very straight to the point and very easy to do, so you don't have to spend too much time trying to figure out what to write when it comes to every single student. The last pro is that the company is responsible for the bookings. So what's really cool about that is that instead of you creating a profile and having to write something about yourself so that it can entice the parents to kind of hire you as a teacher, the company does that for you. So they take care of that. Once you basically are hired by them, they are booking each slot for you. So the only thing that you have to do is really open up your slots. You have to look at your schedule and kind of open up the slots that you want to teach and just show up for it. So I think it makes it easier to just start teaching, which is exactly what you came to do. Okay, now before we go into the cons, I want to talk to you guys about a teaching certification. If you guys don't know, in order for you to teach English online, it is mandatory for you to have a TESOL or a TEFL certification. Those are the type of teaching certification that are made for EASEL or English as a second language teachers. So you can obtain one very easily. I will leave a link for the ones that I use, which is International Open Academy. It is only $19. So make sure you check that out in the description box. All right, now let's go into the cons. The first con that I'm going to talk about could be a pro and a con depending on your experience teaching English online or in school. And the first con is the fact that you can teach up to 4 students per class. So the fact that they have group classes. Now the reason why this may be a con is because sometimes it requires a lot of energy for you to take care of 4 students per class. And these are 25-minute classes. The kids sometimes have a lot of energy. Sometimes they can be, you know, kids. So it does take a lot of your energy to consistently, you know, teach 4 students at a time and really keep their attention level up. But I also want to look at the positive when it comes to this, because the fact that you have 4 students, the class goes by a lot quicker. So that's one thing that you have to keep in mind. Yes, it's going to be a lot more challenging because you have to kind of keep 4 kids entertained and focus on the content. However, because you're talking to 4 students, by the time you got to number 4, that's already 10 minutes that passed by. So you only have another 15 minutes and then class is over. The next con about Magic Years is that they have strict teaching rules. Magic Years is very unique in the fact that they basically want you to follow a teaching standard. So they kind of advertise this standard to the parents where the teachers will have a smile and will basically follow a specific type of technique in the way to teach. So they will train you for you to meet a certain slide by a certain number, and they will basically monitor your classes to make sure that you meet that. Now at first it may be a little challenging to constantly get messages of improvement, but they are here to give you feedback and to make you a better teacher. At first when I started, I remember I felt like it was a little too much because they were, you know, sending me messages after class saying, hey, you need to improve on this, you need to improve on that. And I have to say they do offer really good coaching because they do want you to be your best at it. And at first it is going to be a lot because you are going to have to basically follow their guidelines. Once you really understand these guidelines, they actually make you a better teacher. So at first you may feel like, wow, they are constantly sending you messages, maybe, you know, this isn't for me. But I feel like once you have understood how to teach for them and you do it, it makes it very easy for you to teach for them. I no longer get these messages now because I basically am used to their teaching ways. And the main thing about it is that you have to have a smile during class. And I know it can be challenging if you're waking up really early in the morning and you may be very tired. So it is very important to kind of have that energy. And I did make a video explaining how I teach, like my teaching classroom. And I think it's important for you guys to have a space that you can actually teach standing up, because it gives you more energy to be able to keep that up with the students. But I think it's important to notice that, you know, they are basically prepping you to become your best. And once I've done all the training with them and I got comfortable, I no longer get these messages and I just keep getting better as a teacher. Now, before we end this, I want to talk to you guys about some concerns that you need to be aware of. This is not pertaining to right now, but I do want to bring it up to you because this is something that some teachers have experienced, including myself. Now, the first concern is that sometimes the slots are unpredictable. So basically, because the company books you, it is unpredictable to know if you are going to be able to book a certain amount of slots. They do have a ranking system that allow teachers to basically get up to like 25% booking, 50% bookings to like 100% bookings. However, like I said, because of the high booking rates that they have right now, this is not an issue. If you open a slot, you basically will get booked right away. But this is something that may concern you sometimes when they have low bookings. So low bookings can happen because, you know, the students are on vacation during summer, or maybe because it's a Chinese holiday. So it's important to keep that in mind. But I also want to give you a solution to this, because I think it's very important to not just put, like the expression says, all your eggs in one basket. It's important to have multiple teaching companies that you work for. If you're working for Magic Ears, remember that their platform is 1-on-4. So you're teaching 4 students at a time. So because you have this type of platform where the company is booking you, I think it's very important for you to have an alternative where it is the parent booking you. So that way you have kind of a diverse type of teaching method that you're doing, where you're teaching group classes and you're also teaching one-on-one. That way it gives you more control, where you have the parents booking you, and also this one where the company will be booking you. So there you have it. This is my Magic Ears review for 2020. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you need more help getting hired, make sure you check out the link in the description box for the hiring guide. And if you have any questions, you can definitely send me a message on Instagram at Christina Clesca. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.